This is a quick video to show writers how they can use the interplay between two main characters to get the readers hooked. If you learn to master this, you can apply it across any genre you're writing in. And if you're writing a murder mystery, this is how Agatha Christie uses this interplay to not just keep readers hooked, but to distract them as she tells her story at a pace that she sets. On the one hand, she has Poirot, who creates and nurtures the suspense and tension of the story. Poirot is who the readers aspire to be. So we try and keep up with him because we think we can keep up with him. But he's picking up on clue after clue and piecing together information at an unrealistic speed. And we're naive enough to think we can keep up because we're getting the information at the same rate he's getting the information. And on the other hand, we have Hastings, who is realistically more our speed. He can barely keep up with the investigation without getting sidetracked. And the obvious clues that we notice is exactly what Hastings gets fixated on. But in the background is us, the reader. And we're fighting for these characters. We're advocating for them. We want Hastings to give Poirot a break, to solve the case in whichever way he wants to do it. And we want Poirot to look at what Hastings is showing us, because surely it's so obvious it has to be important. It's kind of like Hastings saying, "Look at the blood splatter on the wall." And Poirot saying, "No, use your little grey cells, my silly friend. Tastes like chocolate to me." Why we're naturally drawn to Hastings is because he has these endearing qualities. He likes to help people, he wants to do good, and he has a strong sense of morality. He's genuine, but his wanting to do good tends to play out in an over-exaggerated and performative way. I mean, the way this guy proposes to every beautiful woman in every story he's in because he wants to help them is something that scientists need to study, but it's believable because of how Hastings' character is written. It falls into the realm of how his character always wants to come to the rescue, but misses the mark ever so slightly. But he means well, and we acknowledge and appreciate that. But Poirot has the same great qualities that Hastings has, but there's no grandeur or pretense. It doesn't play out in an obvious way, and there's nothing performative about it. He's deeply invested in helping people out by solving the murder, by figuring out who killed their mother, brother, or head of the household, and he doesn't care what people think about him. So even when it seems like all is lost because Poirot has seemingly lost his marbles, he doesn't care that this is what people think about him. So he continues to solve his mystery in the most unconventional way, because the only thing that matters is getting to the truth of who did it. And this is despite Hastings being like, "You need to get some help because you are not normal." And this interplay is so interesting because you think, should Poirot get help? And spoiler alert, when you're reading a story and you've gotten to the point where you're worried about your character, you're truly concerned about their well-being, that's when you know the writer has you exactly where they want you. And if you're a writer in the research phase, reading other books in your genre, it's this moment where you become invested in the character that you need to make a mental note of. In fact, this is what writers need to bear in mind for every project in any genre. And it's done in many ways, but Agatha Christie uses this interplay between Poirot and Hastings to get it done that much faster, to get the reader invested that much faster, and to pull the wool over our eyes while the story plays out at a pace that she sets. So she's in full control the entire time, just as long as you're invested in the character's journey. So even when you read your first Agatha Christie novel and it feels as though everything is just a little bit distant, your characters are stereotypical, you've got your genius detective, your goofy sidekick, your rich, beautiful, elegant characters living in manors and estates and traveling by planes and trains, the story still ends up playing out in an alarmingly relatable and relevant way. And that's because people are always going to be people. Fear, worry, concern, wanting to do the right thing, those are universal themes that transcend time. So if a writer can successfully use these universal themes, it won't matter if they're writing an epic saga of power and struggle between slugs. If the character can make the reader care about them, this is how you know the writers won.